Since the dawn of humanity, we've looked to the heavens, not just as a canopy of stars, but as the potential home of our eternal selves. Every culture, in its own way, has sought to answer the most profound of all questions: what happens to us after we die? Is heaven a physical place, a celestial city beyond the clouds? Or is it a state of being, a spiritual realm we can only imagine? And is it real? Or simply a beautiful, comforting story we tell children and ourselves to face the one inevitable certainty of life, its end? This is the story of heaven, not as a single, unchanging belief, but as an ever-evolving idea, a mirror reflecting humanity's deepest hopes, fears, and moral convictions. We'll journey through millennia, from the earliest human civilizations to the speculative future of a digital afterlife, to explore how the promise of life after death has shaped our world. Our journey begins in ancient Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization. Here, in the Sumerian city-states, the afterlife was not a place of paradise, but a chilling and bleak reality. For the Sumerians, the ultimate destination was not a joyous heaven, but a dark and dreary underworld called Kur. It was a one-way ticket, a permanent, shadowy existence where spirits sustained themselves on dry dust. There was no reward for a virtuous life, no punishment for a sinful one. Rich or poor, good or evil, all souls shared the same fate. It was thought that to reach the underworld, the soul had to pass through 7 gates. Yet even here, the idea of justice began to take root. Over time, the Sumerians came to believe that the quality of one's afterlife was tied to their earthly burial. A rich funeral promised a better existence, while a poor one led to suffering. Thus came the first inkling that our actions, or at least our social status, could have consequences beyond the grave. In stark contrast, the ancient Egyptians envisioned a glorious paradise. For them, death was not an end, but a transition to a new life in the field of reeds, an idyllic mirror of their world, but without its hardships. But this paradise had a cost. The soul, comprised of the ka and the ba, had to first pass through a perilous underworld journey, guided by the spells and formulas of the Book of the Dead. The ultimate test, however, awaited the dead in the Hall of Two Truths. Here, a person's heart was weighed against the feather of truth. A heart heavy with sin would be devoured by a monster, Amit the Devourer. The righteous, however, were granted eternal life in a world of peace and abundance. This was the first great moral ledger, a system where personal conduct was the primary determinant of post-mortem fate. The Abrahamic Faiths refined these ideas, making heaven an exclusive home for the righteous and a powerful engine for moral behavior. According to N.T. Wright, Senior Research Fellow at Oxford University, the early Christian view was not just about the soul going to heaven, it was about a future bodily resurrection and the creation of a new earth, a perfected version of our world, where heaven and earth are united. It's the ultimate fulfillment of God's creation, not an escape from it. Islam offers a detailed sensual paradise called Janna, filled with earthly delights and, for the truly blessed, the ultimate spiritual reward, communion with Allah. Jewish tradition speaks of Olam Haba, a world to come that is often more spiritual, where there is a heightened state of connection with the divine, particularly the immanence of the Shekinah, the divine feminine. Mormon theology, in its celestial kingdom, offers a unique path to exaltation, whereby a righteous family can become gods, creating worlds of their own. Eastern religions offer a different perspective. For the Buddhists and Hindus, the goal isn't a permanent heavenly destination, but liberation from the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. For the Buddhist, it's Nirvana, the cessation of suffering. For the Hindu, it's Moksha, the soul's ultimate fusion with the universal consciousness, Brahman. Here, heaven is a temporary rest stop, a temporary reward on a much longer journey. In Zoroastrianism, we see a powerful moral dualism, where a soul's good deeds are literally weighed against its evil ones to determine its fate. And the Chinese concept of heaven or Tian isn't just an afterlife, but a cosmic order and a moral force that governs all of existence. The Taoist seeks not an external heaven, but to become immortal by aligning with this force in life itself. And for the Aboriginal people of Australia, the dream time is not a separate heaven, but an ever-present spiritual reality. The spirits of the ancestors live on in the land itself, in the rocks, the trees, and the rivers, maintaining an unbroken connection with the living. Following a funeral ceremony, Tangihani, on the mare, a Maori spirit, Varyu, begins its final journey. So why is the idea of heaven so compelling? Perhaps it's a fundamental aspect of the human mind. We seem hardwired to believe in it, unable to truly comprehend our own non-existence. The idea of an afterlife is a salve for the fear of death, a promise of reunion with those we've lost, and a framework for justice in a world that so often feels unjust. According to Dr. Bruce Grayson, Professor Emeritus of Psychiatry at the University of Virginia, near-death experiences, or NDEs, shows us that consciousness may continue beyond the physical brain. These appear not to be hallucinations. They are profound, life-altering events where people report leaving their bodies, entering a place of immense peace, and feeling a connection to a higher power. It's a powerful argument for the non-physical nature of consciousness. Vincent Ward's film, What Dreams May Come, starring Robin Williams, depicts paradise as a place of memory and love, along with a place to help suicides recover. In our culture, heaven is continually being reimagined. Film and literature depict it as a personalized paradise, a place where our deepest dreams come true, or even a glorified version of Earth. Writers like Dante and C.S. Lewis have given us imaginative visions, while Shakespeare, in Hamlet, gave voice to the profound human dread of the undiscovered country beyond death. But what if heaven could be constructed? As technology advances, a new, provocative idea has emerged: digital immortality. The hypothetical future where our consciousness, our thoughts, memories, and life experience, or soul if you will, could be uploaded to a computer, creating a digital self that lives on after our bodies have died. The idea is simple. If the mind is just information, just a quantum series of electrical and chemical signals, then theoretically we should be able to copy it. We could create an afterlife where consciousness exists in a digital realm, a kind of technological heaven. The question is, would it truly be you, or just a copy? And then there's the philosophical anti-heaven, the unsettling idea of the Boltzmann brain, a thought experiment suggesting that in a vast, chaotic universe, it's statistically possible for a functioning human brain to spontaneously form out of nothing, a brain with false memories of a life that never happened. If this is true, then how can we trust our own reality? This scientific conundrum forces us to question everything, even the basic assumption of our own existence. It is a profound challenge to our understanding of consciousness, memory, and the very nature of reality. Could we be living inside a simulation within a computational universe? From a dark, dusty underworld to a vibrant physical paradise, from a spiritual state of liberation to a futuristic digital haven, the concept of heaven has never been static. It is a story we continually rewrite, a reflection of who we are and a compass for who we want to be. The promise of life after death is the mirror in which we see our deepest selves. It is a timeless question that continues to shape our present, and as we move forward, it will undoubtedly define our future. What will our heaven look like? And will it be a place we go to, or one we build for ourselves?